When it comes to DLC or announcing a new character in a game, they usually always trend on Twitter that night and probably until the next day. But Jacko is a different story. Not only was she trending, she got her own challenge. Everybody doing the Jacko challenge. I never thought that scene coming. Jacko became so big that people went back and started watching my old video of her. Thank you, Gina. And that's it. That's all you need to see in that video, because the rest is just regular gameplay. But that's the most important part of that video. But anyway, so you picked Jacko. My main from Excerpt is finally here, because I gotta be honest, I really wasn't vibing that much from the characters in Strive. Ram was pretty good, and May is fun when you turn off your brain and just go at it. But Jacko, oh my goodness, she is so much fun to play as, and she's not a tower defense character no more. She's been revamped with the style of Venom a little bit, and honestly, this makes her even better. As Jacko, your job's to set up and smix as much as you can, because her damage output isn't extremely high, but man, she can keep mixing you and apply a lot of pressure while she's at it. Jacko normals are pretty okay. She doesn't have an overhead, and I feel as though she would be the perfect smix character if they gave her overhead, but I guess they think that was a little too far, so they didn't give it to her. She has some really good crouching attacks with some questionable animations with some of them, but her far slash and kick are about the same, so depending on which one you want to use, they're all pretty good. Her crouching medium goes straight up. It has a little bit of a hitbox in front of it, but it's straight up, and I'm not used to that yet. Like, it keeps catching me off guard when I'm in a panic of being rushed, and I'm trying to like, oh, just crouch attack real quick. You most likely want to do crouching attack with your kick first. And her crouching heavy slash does a ground bounce, which is good for a few setups, but we'll get into that later. Her heavy attack is pretty good. She comes in a little bit closer and is a double hit. Same thing with her crouching dust. It allows her to slide a little bit, so it's a really good clipping attack, which you're going to use a lot. Her forward heavy slash is good for mid-range anti-airing. It's really good against tall characters too. But if you really want to anti-air somebody who's pressuring you, you just want to do her forward punch, the universal anti-air. Also, with a nice little callback, her air dust is a projectile. And it doesn't take meter like in the old game, so that is a plus. And I just found out that once you do it in the air, you can also dash out of it. So that's really good for pressure. You can shoot it, then dash at them. All of Jacko's special moves revolve around her servants. But she does have one move she can do without the servants, or doesn't waste servant meter, and that's servant shot. Basically, she just do a really hard kick, and if there's a servant in front of her, she basically turns him into a projectile, which is pretty good, but on his own is not that much. It knocks him away from you, but you also have a lot of other attacks that can do that, and other attacks that help you set up. So now the servants. She can summon the servants by just pressing down forward punch, and if you hold it, she'll hold the servant in her hand. Now, the servants are really fragile. One punch and they're gone, and one punch to you and they're all gone, which is 3 is the maximum you can have on the field. And after hitting them 2 times, they disappear. Which, by the way, you can hit them with any one of your normals and they'll go flying. Well, not flying. Someone knocked them upward, someone knocked them a little bit far away. Different normal attacks will do different trajectories, so just try that out and see which ones you like the most when you're attacking your opponent. I suggest crouching slash. Once they're in the corner, you'll be real surprised what it does. So while you have a servant out, you have a bunch of commands. You have recovery, attack, defend, and countdown. Attack is the one you're probably going to be using the most. Now with attack, they'll do a sword slash which knocks the opponent upwards, so you can probably do some good juggles attacks with that. And some nice little cross-ups, because while you're in the air, you can also do it, so they don't even see the attack coming sometimes. Recovery allows the minions to come back, and when you do that, you get meter back. I barely ever use this because the meter comes back fairly fast in the first place. It's not a really slow meter, it's a pretty decent speed. Defend command. Now this one is really good because when the opponent thinks he has an opening, you can just say defend, bow. Now they're wide open and you can continue your combo. This is really good for doing reckless attacks to make them think that they're in the free to hit you. Causing the opponent to stagger is really helpful for you to keep applying pressure after they catch them off guard. It's really good too when you think your opponent's about to run up to one of your servants to punch him to get rid of him, and you can just throw out the defend command, bam! And now you can just switch to attack command and knock him in the air and give you enough time to juggle him if you're in range. And last is countdown. Now this sets off a trigger. Within 3 seconds they're going to explode, and it does a good amount of damage, but you also got to watch out because the explosion can hit you too. And you also got to be careful because they can easily just again punch them to make them disappear. So it's kind of a high risk, high reward. I usually try to pressure them in the corner while they count down and try to hurry up and back out myself so I won't get caught in the destruction. But if I have a high life lead, then I'm just going to pressure you and let the bombs explode in your face. So you gotta kind of be careful with this one. Also, while you're holding the servant, they can still attack, defend, and count down without meter. So it still wastes meter if you have it, but if you don't have no meter, they can still keep going. Jacko's Overdrives is a command grab and a boost to the servants. Now the command grab, she throws a giant bell at you, puts you in it, goes up with the Azuna drop, aka the primary lotus, and comes down with the RKO, which is two of my favorite grab moves combined into one, so you know I love this move. And not only is a command grab, you can combo into it with a crouching dust. That clip allows you to go right into a grab. And even better, it doesn't even scale that much. Doing slash crouching dust to the Azuna drop does more damage than just a raw Azuna drop, which is crazy. So combo into it, please. Just don't raw do it unless you know they're being reckless and you can grab them. Because also there's a small window to doing it raw where they can just jump out of it. So if they're not swinging, they have a chance to get away. So be careful with that. Next is her cheer servants. This allows them to get super armor so they can keep on fighting. If they punch them, they will take that punch and keep going. They will ignore all damage and just go, which is pretty good for a lot of pressure. I usually do this around the end and mess with people because now the minions can just beat them up and it doesn't matter what attack they do to you. But wait, somebody at ARC said, hey, let's also give them vodka mixed with Red Bull and let them go buttfuck crazy with the other power up. Which now instead of doing slash, you use heavy slash, you get a crazy burst of meters. Basically your meter is refilling so fast, you have unlimited attacks for a certain amount of time. So those 3 attacks can become 6 attacks if you do it right. So of course Jacko's strategy revolves around her servants. Every chance you get, you should bring them out and using them to your advantage. When you're far away, start throwing them at people. When you clip them with a hard knockdown, summon one. But you also gotta be careful because again, they can get punched and disappear. And one of your best moves is crouching dust into servant, but if they block that, that's a free hit for them because servant is not safe. One of the safest ways to do it will be standing heavy. After the second hit from standing heavy, you are just far enough away to summon a servant. They are close enough for the servant to get punched, but then you can bait them and do defense command, and bam, now you got a combo. Attack command can be used almost after everything. You throw a servant, as soon as the servant hits them, attack command, bam, that's a 2-hit combo. You kick them, attack command. Defense command, attack command. Attack command can come after anything. So be in mind that once you see that you confirm a hit, you can smack them with that. And don't forget that if you're jumping in the air, they can't see the servant and you can use attack command to catch them off guard before you come down with them waiting for an anti-air. Also, her chair super, it could be done without servants on the field. You can actually do the super, then bring out the servants and they will have the buff. Took me a while to figure that out, but that is a thing. It also stacks. Yeah, if you have full meter, you can activate the defensive buff and the hype meter buff. So now you have super armor, infinite attacking servants. Also, servants cannot move. They move a little bit forward when you do attack command, but they cannot move at all. And they can never go off screen. So if you throw them past the opponent, they're just gonna slide off the wall and stay right there. So if the opponent comes running at you, they're technically moving right behind them. So throw out that attack command because they again cannot be off screen. So they're right there behind the opponent every time. And it's always best to have a servant behind the opponent so you can keep pressure. Like, what are they gonna do about it? Turn around and punch him? What is this, Smash Brothers? I recommend you always do your best to stay in their face with Jacko. She can do some pretty good stuff from afar by throwing them, but other people with projectile abilities will definitely surpass her abilities in projectile fighting. So it's best to stay close, that's where she excels at. Jacko is an extremely technical character. I'm pretty sure nobody has got the full extent of her yet. I say it's gonna probably take like, I don't know, a good 3 weeks before we finally see some crazy stuff from her. But right now, all I'm seeing is a lot of great pressure with her and the minions just going crazy against people in the corner, and nice little setups to where she crosses up while the minions attacking. But where she excels at pressure, she sucks at getting pressure. If you rush her down, she has no chance to summon her minions. She has no tools without the minions, so people are going to take advantage of that and make sure you don't get a chance to summon them. All in all, once you get all 3 of her summons going, Jacko is going to be making you say, oh no. Hey, it's Slick Tactics, and special thanks to Ignite Rizzy and Insavian. This channel is on its way to somewhere great thanks to this community's generosity. If you'd like to support what I do and make this channel even better, check out my Patreon. I have lots of goals and rewards in store, so stay tuned.